All right, guys, hope all is well. Just going to do a video about some trades this week and essentially what I'm looking at. I did actually have a break from trading for a couple of weeks, but I'm back in and getting ready to get stuck in again. So, first of all, on the dollar, this is actually the DXY. Personally, for me, there wasn't really anything that clean on the dollar. So, I just went on to DXY. So DXY, you can see we've just been pretty much maintaining this like bullish structure and bias. We do have a 3-month supply zone, which I do want to see get tested, which is just up here. But you can see each time we've been trading, we've been coming into the 50% equilibrium of each one of these like pullbacks. So what I did want to see is obviously not every single time this is going to happen because it just is what it is. I would have wanted to have seen price come down into this supply zone, not to say demand zone, not to say that it still can't, to be honest with you. We could still potentially take out that low, but we are super bullish at the moment, so I don't really think this is probably going to happen. We've already come down into our supply. We did come into a, what supply zone is this? I think I kind of just took this whole range, to be honest with you. Let's just go check it down. Yeah, I think I did. Oh, okay, yeah, it was just 12 hour. So we came into this 12 hourly. We did have that test, and then we kind of just pretty much continued going up from there, just kind of making a strong kind of descent up. We did come into some supply that I was looking for. We came in, we had this test yesterday, then price came down, we broke structures in here, and as we go up, so this is our test originally. You can see where we're containing that bullish structure. Price comes down, we break structure here. Looking for the area that caused that break. You can see we had that really nice test on here. Price comes down short, break structure. Should then be looking for potential zones in and around here, but you can see price just completely invalidated that, and we did actually start shifting and breaking some structures. So I do want to see if we can potentially just get some pullbacks and then just continue. We do have some zones down here which kind of are correlating a lot with across the board with a lot of other pairs, especially on gold. And you can see we have kind of, this is kind of what we're looking at on AU on the DXY. So potentially want to see that price kind of come down and continue high. So this setup is potentially looking like some other pairs. Just because there's a setup there doesn't mean that's actually going to happen. But we are kind of starting to shift. Maybe we are actually going to come in and take this, or price could come down, kind of start filling some of this imbalance. I really probably wouldn't be doing that much selling unless this actually really got invalidated, to be honest with you, because you can see price, we broke and then we kind of just come straight back up again. So this is kind of just like a leg, in my opinion. So unless price actually breaks that, then we can look for the pullbacks and then shorts. But for the time being, I'm just going to be kind of looking for this kind of scenario to be playing out. AU, there was some really nice trades yesterday. Just come in and break it down. So we did actually come in to, I feel like we did come into an area. Okay, so we were just starting to break below this demand. Let's go back in. Break it down. Okay, cool. So going in from, where are we? Tuesday. You can see going into Tuesday, price come down, and we just started really just crashing down, going from Monday, creating lower lows and lower highs. And then price finally starts to give us some sort of shift. We had some supply in here which got invalidated. To be honest, this wasn't really that like strong of a supply, which I was really looking for. The 30-minute for me was probably the cleanest one, which was this zone in here. So this is the zone that I was really kind of paying attention for to see if that was going to get broken or invalidated. So you can see price come down, and then we started having this shift and this bullish kind of push movement. So I was like, okay, cool. I do want to see if we can invalidate kind of potentially some in here. And you can see price came in, we invalidated it. So now it's just really looking for the area that caused that break. So I was actually looking for, I had 2 entries. I was looking off this 15-minute because you can see this 15-minute was one that swept all of this liquidity in here. So just from this wick to the open. And I also did manage to catch it. It's on a 5-minute and on a 3-minute. Yeah, off of this zone, I should take like sort of here, like this. So these are two entries. So first one was a lot smaller risk reward. It was only a 1 to 3. And then the second one was a 1 to 7. So about a 1 to 10 kind of all in all. And it was just super basic. Price came into my fib level really, really nicely. We invalidated structure. This is a basic supply and demand flip. Breaker structure, looking for the area that caused that invalidation of the supply and the breaker structure. You can see we had two zones in here, simple fib, because to be honest, price could have gone kind of anywhere, and it could have gone a lot higher, or it could have just died. So I was also looking to see if there was going to be any reaction off this 15-minute, but you can see we kind of just really broke above it. So I was just kind of really using my fib for my target. Usually I'm trading from supply into demand or demand into supply, but for this case, I wasn't really too sure on a target, so I just had to I had it to my negative 27 or negative 618. I'm not really too sure. I don't really use the numbers that much. But I had it to this target. And you can see 65 pips, and then the other one was 62 pips. I don't really care about pips too much. It's all about the risk reward for me. But that was really, really nice. US30 as well. Going in from Monday, we came in and we created this New York high, which came in as a tested previous supply. After that, price had just kind of really kind of been breaking and continuing down. I did want to see if we could get some sort of reaction from this zone in here. The only reason why this didn't really do anything is because it didn't cause anything of significance. So this was technically still kind of really invalid to use. But dropping it down into the lower time frames, you can see going into London, you can see 8 a.m. London, price came in and around this zone. I was looking and focusing on a 1 minute, and you can see we generated some lows in here. So for me, we had all of this Asia, which needed to be taken. We had London, which everyone's going to be, there's going to be a lot of people selling above these highs. And you can see a lot of this like trend line liquidity as well. So it got to a point where price was really kind of just coming down like quite tight together to then actually kind of do something if it was going to either continue higher, if it was going to continue lower. So for me, I had a small area that I was looking for on here, and I wanted to see if that was going to get tested. So you can see we generated some equal lows in here. We generated equal lows in here. We came in, we took them out, and you can see price was actually just kind of following this whole small like mitigations in here. We didn't come down and fill this last one, which would have been a bit of a shame, but that would have been a nice entry. But as price was kind of pushing higher, I actually just got an entry in here, and I had quite a tight stop on the side, like a 5 pip stop loss. I know it says 55, but it's actually not, it's 5 pips. So I only had a 5 pip stop loss on this, and just carried this out all the way back into our previous supply, and to take out that New York high, because overall I'm expecting price to, well, you can see overall we're bearish. Weekly, we've got a demand down here right into the 50%. So I'm really waiting for price to come down into that zone. You can see I'm looking for sales of this zone, because if we just break it down, we had this 3-day test, and obviously price has just been breaking down massively. We had this really, really nice accumulation that caused a supply flip. So this is a really strong area, because this was the main accumulation within this whole market. So there's going to be a lot of orders within kind of this whole range, and even potentially kind of going down here, to be fair, because within most of the market, most of the orders are kind of stored within areas of what I call supply and demand, things like that. So we had a really, really nice spring that just gave us such like a big, strong push movement, and we were bullish for what, 30 days, basically a month. We were just bullish from just one leg just pumping. So for me, I don't use support and resistance, but in some cases it's kind of similar. But support and resistance is nothing more than just areas of supply and demand within the market. So you can see, even though quote unquote this is support and resistance, it's actually just areas where supply and demand have been. You can see there's been a lot of reactions around this area, and this is where and why price kind of stalled in and around this area. I did want to see a bit of a high test. We didn't get that on a 3-day. I did want to see if price is going to come back up into here, because that would have been quite a nice swing point. But to be honest with you, I don't think it is. I think it's just going to kind of roll over. So that's why I'm looking for a couple of things. So first of all, that was the buy. on US30, really nice. So now I'm just waiting. But my overall kind of the zones that I'm looking for is New York closed, we came in, filled this gap, we took out that high, and then we kind of just started rolling over, and you can see we had some small demand in here. This got flipped, and now we're just continuing. So I've got two potential orders. I've got one which is a 1 to 5, 28 pips, and then I got another one which is 11 pips, a 1 to 16, and I'm looking to hold that all the way back down into the psych level 2800, which is also that high time frame supply demand zone on the weekly. So I'm looking for trades into this whole zone for shorts. You can see if we just take everything off from him, you can just see everything is just so bearish. So unless you really count a trend trade like that, personally, I used to a lot more. I don't really as much now, depending on if it's a nice opportunity like this. But I do kind of really like to wait for like more of the higher moves. So I'm looking to place orders from this whole zone. You can see we had a really nice demand zone in here. This was one that swept these lows. We did actually break a bit higher, so anywhere within here is where I'm going to be looking for my zones. Though you can see we've got that 4-hourly, which is lining up really nicely with this imbalance, and then we do also have a really nice 30-minute zone just in here. So I do want to see if price can potentially come up. Like I said, I do have some orders in here, so I do want to see if price can actually come in and give me those. So the first 100, basically 150 pips, and then the second 196 pips. So probably the first target is going to probably be just down into this Asian low, or going into basically 1 o'clock, half one. There's our Asian low. So I do want to see if we can come also and just trade massively back down into that Asian low. So that is US30. So what I am waiting for is if we keep generating more liquidity in here, kind of break up, and then we kind of get that rollover. Maybe going into Thursday or Friday, I do want to see, but orders are placed, so we just kind of have to wait. Euro pound. This is actually a trade I'm in currently, which is doing all right. Well, I mean, we are up 20 pips, so not really too crazy to be fair. Euro GBP, well, you can see basic, we have supply and demand, which was flipped. And you can see we're just looking for the area that caused this zone. Whenever I'm looking for these zones, I'm always kind of looking to see where is the area that kind of caused, I mean, like we have in theory, this whole like sell to buy, but I don't really like having a stop loss, which is like 50 pips. That's just a personal like thing. If you do, that's completely fine. But on the 30-minute and the hourly, we did have some inefficiencies in here. I actually haven't used this on here yet, so there might actually be nothing, but let's just check it out and see if we do. Okay, not really. Is there anything? Oh yeah, okay, cool. So you can see where price kind of dipped in here. This is showing me that there's a true imbalance in price kind of still within this zone. So this is obviously where the big sell to buy movement is, but you can see where these nodes kind of start to kick up a little bit. That's telling me there's a lot of volume within, or there's a lot of nodes within this area. And you can see within that area, we do have this small zone in here. So that is actually lines up quite nicely, to be fair. That's called session side volume, session range volume profile. So I quite like to use that because it shows you kind of the true imbalances in price. But I don't solely rely on that. I have other confluences. That's one of like the last things I check. So really and truly, we've been breaking. Oh yeah, there was a trade that I took a loss on yesterday in here. I was looking to see if price was going to trade off of this zone in here. I was looking for, we had this small break in here. I was looking to see if price was going to come into here and then do that continuation. But you can see we didn't, we liquidated everything, and then we actually kind of started to give us that run push move. And now we've actually finally broken above. That was giving us the opportunities to get in. Small imbalance in here. So I'm kind of just looking to ride it up. I do have my target for here. But just with everything at the moment, fundamentally, the pound, like I'm in the UK, the pound is just getting slapped at the moment. So with other kind of confluences like fundamentally as well, I do think we could probably kind of kick a little bit higher. That's not to say we will, but we do have a nice psych level, which is at 9,000. And this 9,000 actually lines up really, really nice with a 15-minute supply zone. I was looking at before in here, I was looking for sells off this. We didn't get that. We do have some highs just in here, and I do think a lot of people could potentially be looking to sell off the hourly. Even though we could, I'm still going to look for sells off this thing. But just off this zone, I do think we could potentially run up and just kind of test into this zone or like the 19,000 level. So that's why I do kind of want to see if we could get that. So that's what I'm looking for on euro pound. Gold, oh, gold, amazing trade on gold. I've literally just been trying to rinse this as much as I can. You can see, let's go into the daily. Really, this is probably one of the cleanest trades I've ever had on gold, to be honest with you. So gold, we came into our high time frame supply zone, which is actually within our premium, which is within this swing point. You can see we've got our lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So now looking for that lower low and potentially come in and take out 16, 14, something like that. We had supply, which was in premium, which is really, really nice. Supply test within premium prices. Supply test that swept London and coming into London Open. So you can see it's so clean. So clean. So we had this small high, which taken up here. There was a small like 5-minute or 1-minute zone. This came in and tested that, and we actually swept all of this Asian high. So there was a manipulation in here, which had tested previous small supply in here. Price came in, we tested it, we started breaking lower, looking for the zone that caused that small break within here. You can see we had a lot of Asian liquidity resting in here. Price came in, we tested it, and then we kind of really dumped and we created equal lows from here. So when price had created these equal lows, this was giving me a pretty good indication that price is probably just going to roll over. So this is nothing more than just placing an order. We had an order right at this 30-minute London high. You can see as soon as we come into London, 8 a.m., price rolls over. So we had London supply, which needed mitigating out of. And you can see really, really nice lower time frame accumulation and distribution, sorry. Each high getting taken, and then we just rolled over and died. So we got a few areas that we can look for. I'm looking for kind of these areas down in here to get filled and tested. I don't use my EMAs too heavy. I used to use them quite a lot, but you can see when prices kind of starting to cross, we get that continuations. And again, you can see we're getting this cross. I'm really looking for continuations from this point on. I am looking to see if price could potentially come back up into this 15-minute zone, maybe into this 30-minute. We do have a little bit of balance, just a little bit higher. But kind of this hourly imbalance fill was kind of what I was looking at. I do want to see what we could get from that. I have quite a small stop on this anyway, so like 25 pips, but I'm potentially looking for about a 1 to 18 on this. And I just want to see if I can take this a little bit lower. So we did have sweeps and mitigations down into like these 5-minute zones in here, going to like Asian session and things like this. But I don't really think that's going to hold, if I'm going to be honest. We've got some liquidity resting in these highs in here. So what I do want to see is price can just potentially come up, and then we just kind of have that continuation and that rollover just to take down to the sell side. So that is what I'm looking at for this week. I got a few orders placed. I'm not really going to do anything other than orders now, to be honest with you. But that is what I'm looking at. If you guys got any questions you want to ask me, please let me know. Feel free to fire away and I will help you as much as I can. All right, guys. Bye.